Hello and welcome to the Full Force Weekly, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury Editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic AT. In this episode, I bring you all the news from the past week in the world of G.I. Joe. So what is it, me? It's the Full Force Weekly is what it is. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Better late than never, maybe, I hope. Sorry about the time change again. It's like I feel like the weekly is a movable feast at this point, isn't it? It's like Easter. Anyway, how is everybody doing? Hope you're all having a great weekend, a good Saturday, and just a good time in general. We've got a considerable amount of stuff to talk about, I guess, and also lastminute.com, thanks to the great Tonino. Thanks to Tony from Hasbro, who just posted the Pythona render on all of the socials. So I had to do that and then add it to the free. I was all prepped and ready to go, and then I had to add loads of new stuff in there. But that's cool. I'm cool with that because we get to talk about Pythona again. So that's all good. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a long time. I've been throwing a couple of vids up here and there, but I am still. I know I'm still behind a little bit on unboxings. I've got Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear I want to do next, and hopefully I'll do that after this episode and get that up for you guys as well. Anyway, hope everyone is doing well, and we'll might as well get stuck into it then, eh? Starting with this week, more, believe it or not, cold Slither news. Yes, so Cold Slither are releasing another track called Cobra Island, which is actually going to be on a vinyl release available only through subscription with Decibel magazine. So here is the little flexi series they're doing for Decibel magazine. It's got a cool little vinyl cover and everything, a little case and a little record sleeve to go with it, which is very nice. And again, yeah, another track. I haven't heard this yet, and I don't think anyone has. I think the only way you'll be able to get to hear it initially is through subscribing to Decibel magazine. Here is Decibel magazine, and this is the flexi series as well of little vinyl releases they're doing for each. I guess for each month up to a certain point. But either way, that is one hell of a way to try and get that track, isn't it? I imagine it will probably go up on streaming after the fact eventually. I'm not sure like time frame wise, but that usually happens, and they usually end up kind of, usually ends up getting on like Spotify and all streaming platforms and what have you. So it will probably end up there eventually. But for now, you can subscribe for the 1 year, 12 issues at $49.95. For 2 years, 24 issues, it's $84.95. You can actually choose no FlexiDisc or Deluxe with FlexiDisc as an option. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want the FlexiDisc. The whole point. I mean, if you're just getting in for the magazine, then fair enough. But I can't imagine you wouldn't want some cool vinyl releases. I used to bloody love that when I was a kid, getting like little 7 inches. Vinyls or stuff like that, like just in as a promotional kind of thing. And I remember obviously G.I. Joe or Action Force did it very famously, and you've got to check this out. I think it's on Blood for the Baron, but if you find the actual I think it's the Steel Core release, you got a little flexi vinyl, right, that you could play on your record player and everything. And this, I might be telling people might probably already aware of all this, and it's totally fine. But for those that aren't, on that particular release was a message from Hawk. Now this was a British promo only, British a kind of British only promotion, and basically the kind of voice track or the voice acting was done by a British person putting on initially a fake Hawk kind of American accent, and then it changes and he ends up kind of it's the weirdest accent ever, and it's so funny. So go check it out. And then and then obviously on that actual message, he basically gets everyone to do, or he's inviting you as the owner now of a steel, what they called, steel, what they called, special core figure, aka Steel Brigade back in the day, Steel Core now. But they, on that particular message from Hawk, he basically says, "Oh, and here's a competition you can get involved in to design the next vehicle for GI Joe." And he basically describes the Warthog, which came out like the next year, I believe. So obviously, in terms of, I think what they were trying to do, they were trying to make whoever came up with the design or whoever sent in designs would then think, "Oh, I was the one that designed this," and that's what, because he literally describes the thing that you're supposed to be like putting a competition, that you're supposed to be drawing for the competition. He describes the treads. It's an amphibious vehicle. It's got a big missile rack on the back. The spaces for however many people. It literally describes it to a T, the Warthog, which is really crazy. I'm still not quite sure the whole point behind it, other than making the kid think whoever won it, that they were the one that designed the Warthog when it came out the next year, which, as you well know now, would be impossible timeframes to get a kid's design through the development process for a vehicle and churned out, produced and mass manufactured and then distributed a year later. Forget about it. Anyway, it's still kind of cute, and I don't believe I went in on that particular competition, because by the time I got my steel, my special core figure, I don't believe the competition was still running at that point, or I just missed it because I got it late. When I finally got it, didn't get around to listening to the vinyl immediately. I think when I finally listened to the actual vinyl itself, and we had a record player, so I had access to it, so it wouldn't have been too long after getting the figure. But I did, and I do remember listening to it when I was younger, when I was a kid, and it was just the most amazing thing ever. But again, I don't think I went in on it because I think the date I'd already gone past the date. But that said, I do love a little flexi vinyl every now and again, and I think this is a really fun thing to do for Decibel magazine. If I was into this music, if I was into this music in a big way, like if this was a hip hop magazine, or if this was like, I don't know, retro wave 80s kind of style music. Like I'm into a lot of music, of course, but specifically like the kind of music that's in Decibel magazine, I'm not 100% sure like it would be really worth it for me, other than to pay, what is it, like, hang on, how much did I say for 1 year? Let's say for a 12 issue 1 year subscription, you're looking at $49, you're looking at $50 with the rest of, the shipping and what have you. And it is US, Canada, and other international addresses as well. So it looks like it's pretty much everywhere. But yeah, just, I mean, $50 for a one flexi vinyl of because that's effectively what I'd be doing it for. I don't really, personally, that's not for me. But for those of you where the Venn diagram is this type of music, you want the magazine, the Decibel magazine, and you're a G.I. Joe fan, then I don't know what you're waiting for. If you don't already have, that's the thing, imagine you've already had a subscription to this. Like, I'd be gutted. I wonder if you could cancel it and start a new one with this from this point onwards. But then again, I don't even know if it's been out very long. This might be like the beginning of Decibel magazine. I have no idea. I don't know the history of Decibel magazine, but I'm sure it's been going for longer than just now. In any case, yeah, it has been. It's been going on for ages. In any case, there you go. That's pretty much the all the information there. I have missed everyone's comments. My apologies. So just saying, is there any comments regarding Cold Slither? Figure Six Pack says OMG Cold Slither squee. Yep, got it. I'll wait for Napster, says Blitz 0065. Good afternoon, Carlos. Even with the subscription, I don't have any way to play records, so I'd be out on this one. Besides that 2-year subscription price, I can get just one of the new Youngblood figures. Yes, Bad Wolf Media. I'm a G.I. Joe fan, says Jedi Ben. There you go. That's all you need. That's all you need. Paisano says maybe not as bad as the Marvel Unlimited Plus sub for 99.99 to get the Spider-Woman figure, and I'm still considering that. Someone will have it for sale. That's a good point, Blitz, as well. Yeah, I'm sure there will be people that get in on Decibel magazine, maybe don't want the vinyl, they'll sell it on eBay or something. I'm sure it'll be available after the fact on the secondary market if you really, really want it that way. I want it that way. I would like to have whatever issue Cold Slither show up in, because I'm sure they'd have a Cold Slither issue. You'd have to, right? For all that went into Cold Slither, they have to be on the cover of one of these issues, at least, and especially if they're getting a friggin' flexi release. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Anyway, that is Cold Slither, more Cold Slither. The track Cobra Island is going to be on flexi vinyl as a release in Decibel magazine with a subscription. Like I said, you can go check that out on our on our social pages where we've posted the link for the Decibel magazine website. And yeah, you could get in there right now and secure your Cobra Island Cold Slither flexi vinyl release. Okay, that is all for Cold Slither. Next, and I believe we're looking at a little unofficial, but still pretty fun, retro rifle t-shirt, not t-shirt, just regular shirt. Another fun little release that popped up in the week was this from Retro Rifle, who, again, this is unofficial. I don't think it's an official collaboration with G.I. Joe, but they do use Chuckles' figure all the way through it. They even say Chuckles, they say G.I. Joe. So, like, I'm not sure how allowed they are to do that, but the shirt itself, I mean, you could do that and it's not going to be a copyright issue. But adding all the other stuff to it, I'm not sure. And they didn't use logos, so I'm fairly convinced that they can get away with it for this, but I don't know the legalities. Either way, pretty cool Chuckles shirt, a button up or button down, I should say, a button down polo with that kind of more detailed, I would say, Chuckles vibe with the pink flowers, the green leaves, and of course that blue sort of background. I don't know, I quite like these, and they do have a lot of different shirts on Retro Rifle, a lot of different sort of like I say brands, but you know what I mean, sort of like homages to brands. And I don't know if some are official or not, but I'm pretty certain this one isn't an official Hasbro combo sort of situation. But it's pretty dope. I quite like this one. It's nice. It's not obviously too obviously on the nose. There are little pistols in the background, I've just noticed. This is something I hadn't seen before, but that little close-up image on the bottom left-hand corner, that little circular close-up is highlighting a pistol ever so subtly in the background in blue, which is kind of cute as well. I bought a Chuckles shirt from Anime Ape last year or the year before, says Bad Wolf Media. Jedi Ben says they have a great collection of Magnum PI shirts as well. I'm sure they do. Is it Magnum PI or is it Dale from Rescue Rangers, says Bad Wolf. Yeah, that's a good point. Does the shirt come with a rocket to hurl at the Hiss tank, says Figure Six Pack? No, but it bloody well should. And I still think we should get a retro Chuckles, maybe movie version with the white shirt and that missile. I think that would be such a cool retro figure to do. Anyway, especially considering we've got Big Lob coming. Obviously, Jinx is in the line already. Falcon. We need a regular Falcon again. Now we need a redo on regular Falcon, even though we've got a good Night Force version now. But you know what I'm saying. And of course, Law and Order, which I believe is coming very soon to me, which is good. I got some sort of notification about that the other day, as well as the Snake Armor. And Walmart are going to be shipping my 2-pack Quick Kick, they have shipped my Quick Kick Beachhead 2-pack. And what was the other one that I got a notification for? The Divers. No. Snake Armor. Oh, Crystal Ball. So even though I got this Crystal Ball from Walmart, the Pulse version is I got like a notification about that being tomorrow or something, which is kind of interesting. Bad Wolf Media says, how confused would more casual collectors be when a figure just comes with one single vehicle style rocket? I don't know, but I think with that, I don't think it's that big a deal. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's that big a deal. Just like a casual collector would. I mean, it'd be the same kind of thing if you're a casual collector of turtles or a casual collector of any of the brands. Look how many homage accessories they put in with NECA homage versions, by the way. NECA, Super 7, all those companies that are doing like different, turtles or what have you. Like the amount of homage accessories that go in there, which like a casual observer, even like a deep cut like fan. I watched the entire series of Turtles since it's been on Tubi. I've just been back to back smashing the Turtles episodes, just like one after the other. And I'm nearly to the end of the entire season, all the seasons out there, which is a lot. Like it was literally just background noise for the longest time since it went up, and it wasn't up that long ago. Anyway, by the by, there are homage accessories in some of the Super 7 and NECA stuff that I look at and go, I'm going to have to do a bit of digging on that one. And I think that's part of the fun of it. And even if you're a casual fan, if you recognize or if you're like connected enough to the character of the figure, I don't think one random homage accessory is going to do anything to dissuade you from buying something. If anything, it might draw more interest and make people search it up and look for it. Like if you're a casual, it's hard to take yourself out of the mindset you're already in, isn't it? It's hard to kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes when you already have all of that ingrained nostalgia and information and knowledge or what have you. But if you were to come in to this sort of situation and see just a random missile with Chuckles, I think that just make you kind of search it for a bit and go like, I wonder what this is all about. Hello. Annie's in the house. Who wants to say hi? Do you want to come up and say hi, darling? Do you? No, she just ran straight up the stairs again. No Annie show today, I'm afraid, guys. But she did come in and kiss my leg. So thank you, Annie. Anyway, Annie's the dog, by the way. A little schnauz. Now, I got a note. Oh, Slice and Dice is another one. Yes, that's true. Bad Wolf Media. I got that one too. Slice and Dice was another one. You're right. Yeah. So again, I don't think, even if it was a bit of confusion, I don't think it would be enough to dissuade anyone to buy anything necessarily. But it's hard for me to put myself in someone else's shoes without, all of that extra baggage. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What about the fudgy bar, says Jamie Lynn? Yeah, but it was so small. I don't think anyone would notice that, Jamie Lynn. But you're right. There's lots of homage accessories and lots of figures. Major Blood was another one, Jeff. Yes, thank you. Major Blood's the other one that I got a notification for. Still looking for a crystal ball here, says Jedi Ben. White says hello, White. You are my background noise right now. I'm inking. Nice one, Barking Fridge. Very cool. I hope the background noise isn't too annoying. As in me. Dates for MMS and Slaughter's Mercy showing 10-3 now on Pulse, says Cal. What's interesting about that is that they've just, we'll talk about that later on, but they have just shown up in US ports. But I'm getting ahead of myself in the news order at the moment, aren't I? Anyway, Chuckles, there you go. And one more image, there he is, lying on the shirt, folded up, with Knuckle Duster, a knife. That ain't a knife. It is a knife. And is that some sort of pouch or something? I can't tell. Anyway, they've gone to town with how Chuckles this is, and I kind of like it. But there you go. A Chuckles button down if you want to rock that Hawaiian shirt look, and kind of do a very kind of interesting and more detailed, a little bit kind of modern version of Chuckles. I like it a lot. Actually, does it look like well, no, the classified Chuckles is not as deep. It's got different flowers, basically, isn't it? Like, it's funny because the flowers on the classified Chuckles are a bit thicker, like rounder petals almost, where these ones are kind of that very specific one, that based very much off that vintage style. But anyway, yeah. Right then, maybe I'm in the minority, but Sunbow G.I. Joe is just about the only OG toon I can still watch these days. Loved everything as a kid, but as an adult, Filmation, Motu, TMNT, several others don't hold up. Hella Geek says that. Hella Geek, I have to agree in some capacity with, some cartoons. The Sunbow cartoon, the Joe cartoon, I have more tolerance but I love it so much. I love watching it. There are some episodes that are absolute peak wonderful animation, and wonderful like storytelling, worlds without end, goes without saying. But like, there are so many episodes, and it's not just a nostalgia thing. I can watch some of those episodes over and over again because the storytelling is really good, the quality, the animation. Now, are there some stinkers? 100%, but for the most part, the Sumbo cartoon I absolutely adore. The Deke cartoon I struggle with. Masters of the Universe, I can watch the odd one here and there, but I do tend to drift when I'm trying to watch Master of the Universe. I'm trying to drift onto other things and get distracted a little bit. TMNT, though, there are some absolutely terrible, silly, over the top, dumb stuff. But for the most part, again, it's very similar for me, the TMNT cartoon, the original one, as the Sunbow Joe one is for me. And again, I'm not sure if that's just like me enjoying it because I'm back as a kid watching it kind of thing. But there are some absolute beautiful moments in that series. In like I say series, like there's so many seasons of that kind of first sort of like iteration of the TMNT cartoon. But yeah, I will say there's one cartoon that I think is very good, holds up very well today from back in the day, and that's Starcom. If you want to give Starcom another burst, try it, because my goodness, that is a superb cartoon. Chris G says this is a good shout. Actually, I'd get the shirt if it came with a shoulder holster, and you know what? That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. You might just have to get one separately. Anyway, yeah. 2000, yes, 2000 Motu is definitely a phenomenal cartoon. Do you know what? Like, I was watching Thundercats today, but again, like that one for me is that, like, again, some aspects of it I kind of watch and enjoy, and then others I kind of drift a little bit. But I love Thundercats, and that kind of modern Thundercats cartoon was absolutely brilliant as well. It didn't really get a good shot, unfortunately. Yes, Starcom was made in collaboration with NASA, Scott. There's some really good. Have you ever read the Bible, like the Starcom, like the kind of animation Bible? It's really in depth. We had to cover it for an old episode of the show where we were doing alternate reality combined universe things with G.I. Joe, and Pat and I and a bunch of other people were on it. We did like an in-depth look at Starcom, and yeah, part of talking about it was delving into that sort of animation Bible, which was absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's enough of that. Oh, Visionaries is great. Visionaries is a great cartoon as well. Like that, again, it has a couple of funny episodes, but like, again, for the most part, phenomenal animation. I love that cartoon. But yes, Starcom, if you haven't watched it for a while, go back and watch it. It's actually phenomenal. Inhumanoids is a great one as well, Scott, and I think that one is definitely, it's going to require a bit more commitment, but it is, because it's like one of those things where it's a different vibe totally. Yeah, it's terrifying, but yeah, it holds up, I think. Anyway, shall we move on? Yes, because we've got loads more to talk about. So there you go, Retro Rifle. Go nuts. Go check out their site. Again, I posted links on our socials, so go on our Facebook page mainly is probably the best place to go for that. Go to the Retro Rifle. I've literally reposted one of the adverts for the ads for the actual t-shirt itself. I keep saying t-shirt, you know what I mean, for the button down. So yeah, go get it, check it out. If you want it, it's there for you. Was I going to say anything else about that? I don't think I was I? I probably should mention the price, but I can't actually remember what the friggin' price was. Let me have a look, because I kind of want to know now. Having talked it up so much, I haven't actually got one. I didn't get in for one of these, but that's mainly because, you know, I have to be careful in general, as a, you know, what you call, as a mature adult. Here we are. It is, oh, it's actually $37.46 right now. I guess there might be some sort of it's 25% off. Maybe it's a And there's a 10% off on your first order if you've never got anything from Retro Rifle before. So actually, it's not bad at all. You might be able to get a little bit. You might be able to get to about $35, which is actually not bad at all. In any case, 35 for that button down is not bad at all. That's like old school pricing. I was expecting it to be about 50 for some reason. I do like as well on the interior, they've got like that kind of almost, I would call it fun school art of Chuckles, but I really like that. I think it's very fun and very like retro, much like their whole situation. But yeah, there you go. That is everything about button downs. Right then, next up, and I don't know what I'm talking about next. Oh yes, I do. It's more clothing related matters. This time, if you're hitting the gym, guys. Yes, Snake Eyes. The Snake Eyes collection from SuperX was out of stock for a while. It came out like last year, I want to say. And it's actually really cool. I really want to get in on this, but it is expensive. I will say that much. But it is back in stock on the website. They've kind of they've done. I think a lot of people wanted this to come back, and so they've done the collection again. And it's the hoodie. It's the kind of the track, the bottoms, the pants, and there's a shirt as well, like a t-shirt as well. Now, I don't think I've got that on the actual. No, I don't, because I'm an idiot. But there's the pants and the kind of hoodie there. Now they are expensive. Now these we are talking a little bit more on the kind of high end cost sort of kind of situation. And I will tell you what they are. So there's a 30% off orders $100 or more, and that definitely will happen with this particular, if you're going to order any of these, because, or at least the hoodie or the pants. So the hoodie is $128, which is a lot. I'm not going to lie, but if you go into like Dick's Sporting Goods or anywhere like that nowadays, you'll see these kind of prices on these sort of like kind of like performance hoodies, I suppose you'd call them, a performance kind of wear. It's very expensive stuff. 128 for the hoodie, 108 for the joggers, they're called. The whole, and the t-shirt, the short sleeve, I should call it, the performance short sleeve is $68, right? Now, if you get the whole thing, and this is pre-order scenario at the moment. This is not in stock, I should say. I was saying back in stock on the website. It's back. They're doing it again, is what I should say. But it is pre-sale. Now, the limited edition performance bundle, that is the hoodie, joggers, and shirt, is $289.99. So it's quite expensive. But that does bring the cost down for all of those items combined. So if you're getting all three, you might as well get the bundle. They also have the Arashikage shorts for $58, which are kind of cool. They've got other stuff as well, including those really, I actually really like the Firefly joggers, and the Firefly hoodie is well dope. It has a balaclava built in, so when you pull the hoodie over the top, it's a balaclava. That's kind of cool, I think. In any case, yeah, you can check that out on SuperX's website. But I've got it, like I said, I've got to admit, like it's on the expensive side for sure. But if you're into it and you want it, there you go. I remember when they did, because I still wear them, but those amazing grey jogging, not this company, but another company. I got these grey jogging Storm Shadow pants, which I forget the company now. It just completely is like, it was years ago. It was during the whole Snake Eyes movie promo, but they're the coolest pants ever. I wear them all the time. And the hoodies as well. The Snake Eyes black one and the Storm Shadow white one. I forget, what was the name of that company, guy? Heroes and Villains. Thank you, Bad Wolf Media. Yes, Heroes and Villains was the one, and I loved those trousers, joggers. Scott says, I can never take seriously a British accent that says pants. Well, yeah, because we're talking about underpants when we usually say it. Jamie Lynn says, for the previous Chuckles shirt, that is a great price, especially considering what Roosevelt's shirts go for. Do you know what's really funny? I thought that RSVLTS was results for the longest time until Pat said, I got a Roosevelt shirt. And I'm like, a what? Sorry? And he's like, he didn't know until he looked it up. And then, but when he said it like that, and I'm like, what's Roosevelt's? And it's like the thing we just discussed on the show. And I'm like, oh, you mean results? I'm an idiot. Anyway, there you go. Snake Eyes, the Snake Eyes collection is back at SuperX. And right this minute, there is an ever so, I mean, you can get 30% off on orders over $100. So it probably is worth it. But there you go. I mean, worth doing it that way is what I mean. If you want to get this stuff. And yeah, and if you want to hit the gym looking like Snake Eyes, that's what I kind of do, because all of my clothing is effectively G.I. Joe related. Am I wearing any G.I. Joe related clothing today? I am, yes. Of course I am. There you go. A little bit of it's Flint, isn't it? Eco Warriors Flint on my shirt. There you go. Anyway, it's so funny. Like, I'm like, oh, actually, I'm not wearing anything G.I. Joe related today. Yes, I am, always. It's in the blood, isn't it? Anyway, Jamie Lynn says, I thought results too. I think I learned the correct pronunciation from this show because of Pat, not because of me. Oh, Somar says, I'm sure you noticed it before me because I did do last couple of months. If you speed up G.I. Joe 80s episodes, you get original speed. They so desperately slowed into 22 minutes. Really? Interesting. All of this and still no classified Psych Out or GTA 6. Well, Stygian, what do you think's coming first? Psych Out or GTA 6? I'm going to say, I'm just going to say it. Psych Out's coming before GTA 6. Anyway, that's Snake Eyes back in, but for pre-sale, I should say, on the SuperX website. Now, what are we talking now? There's more. Oh, I think we're going Hiya Toys next. So let's talk a little bit about Hiya. Yeah, so Hiya Toys, the Viper is now showing up, and there was like some beautiful images previously that kind of came out for the Viper, and it looks kind of a little not different, but if you the promo images that came out, which I didn't actually, annoyingly, completely forgot to even put in any weekly episodes to talk about them, but either way, it is now showing up, and Hobby Base have it now. When Hobby Base get it, because they're in Hong Kong, you can usually expect about a month or so later to start seeing it, or within a month you'll start seeing it sort of like populate throughout pre-order places like Small Joe's, I believe, do Hiya Toys, G.I. Joe stuff, and a couple of other places. Maybe if you're, like Robot Kingdom, and what's the other one? Oh God, Cool Toys Club, I think it is. Anyway, anywho, yeah. So now it's showing up at Hobby Base, so you can probably expect, if you've ordered this or pre-ordered this anywhere, you'll probably start seeing it very soon. Talking Joe says, I still call it Super Twitter, in reference to SuperX, the brand we've just been talking about for the Snake Eyes clothing. Very funny, Mark. How you doing, buddy? So yeah, there is your Viper. Not the best image to see it in that kind of package, obviously, because of the plastic and how it's reflecting everything. But yeah, it's looking very cool and very different to the Viper from the Classified series, indeed. That said, so that's going to be kind of showing up as well. They also had a 3D sort of like turnaround video. They had one for Zartan. They had one recently for someone else as well. But then, of course, the Cobra Trooper pops up. And again, very different to the Classified version. Some aspects are taken from the Classified series, like the helmet. But then when you start getting into the kind of like the secondary, the deco, the kind of camouflage deco, the black and blue on there is very awesome. And all of, the armor and the gauntlets and stuff, very kind of specific to Hiya. They've designed their own thing here. This is not like a Classified rip, as it were. So maybe, could we see this show itself in Classified? Or maybe is it one of those things? Actually, no, I think we confirmed this a while back. This wasn't a classified design that was used, that wasn't used, that came into the Hiya. That was confirmed officially. So this is definitely specifically Hiya Toys here doing this, which is still pretty cool. But I wonder if we could see like a like of it showing up in the classified series, kind of like in a other way round scenario. I think there's a possibility it could happen. It's a very cool looking figure. And the secondary, I love that kind of like almost like, muscle kind of secondary, kind of like abs and pecs, kind of futuristic, kind of like hard angled sort of armor. I think it's very, very cool. David says Super 7 had a reaction Cobra Trooper that had a very similar camo pattern. Yeah, actually, you're right. It did. I wouldn't mind those designs in classified, said Scott. Yeah, me neither, actually. I definitely would buy several classified versions of this trooper. The thing is, again, I think obviously we've kind of gone away from very different sort of designs with classified. Occasionally there'll be a character that sort of veers away from the classic, and they're probably like keeping a spot for it in like the retro lineup eventually down the line. But Stygian says, you heard it here first, classified psych out. Chris confirmed. Hilarious. But or could I? You never know. But no. But maybe. But no. But maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. So I've completely lost my train of thought. That said, there you go. Hiya Toys, Cobra Trooper, looking pretty dope. Here's a shot of how the kind of weapons connect to the back, very much like the classified version, which obviously they've taken a lot of inspiration with the weapons for sure. That is very much classified design. But yeah, as I was saying, like they've veered away a little bit from that in classified. We don't really get a lot of craziness now. It's more like subtle, different, cool, interesting updates on figures that are more or less roughly, kind of like their original versions. But I don't know, I kind of like that balance. But I'm also down for seeing random new crazy cool stuff in classified. Yeah. And I also don't mind if they were to do something like, double up a little bit. So, do like a character over here that is like crazy different, as long as in the future we get a retro version of it, which sort of has been happening anyway. Then I think as long as you do it in the right, as long as you do it sort of the right way, and not with a character that sort of doesn't need an update, because that's another thing. Some of these characters are so like randomly out there in their design, good or bad. But I think some of them do need a little bit of touch up. Kitty said Raptor was a perfect example of that, Thanos. Thank you. Yeah, Raptor is very different, but that update is freaking awesome. And it sort of shows, if you look at the original figure, then you look at the modern 4-inch club Raptor, and then you get into the classified version, you definitely see it's like a growth of that figure, like a proper developmental growth of that figure to where it is in classified. I don't think it's just completely different from the first one, but if you kind of go into that modern 4-inch version and then the new Raptor, there's definitely this sort of like steady kind of like design, kind of like development going on. So it wasn't necessarily like a complete like shock, but it was really cool to see that they'd done something cool with the wings. Again, something different to the ghillie suit, the modern ghillie suit that was on the Jungle Viper, that was just redecoed and made to look like wings in a sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of very into what they did with Raptor. I think that was a great update. Stygian says Chris needs to confirm Sticky Clam HasLab with Globulus and Royal Guard as unlock. That'd be amazing. Scott says, or extra stuff packed in to make them crazy different. Slice and dice Budo. Indeed, that's a really good shout. Yeah, you kind of like have both versions of them basically in one package, as it were. We're like Tripwire. Wait till you get Crystal Ball. I've got him, Scott. He's amazing. I love Crystal Ball. I did an unboxing. Videos up, but I do have another one coming from Pulse because I want to. He's the kind of figure that I want to show off in both versions. Like the dire kind of pieces I want on show, but I also want standard crystal ball on show as well. So yeah, because like, how cool is it going to be in that shelf to have crystal ball in his dire technology? I keep saying dire wraith, his dire technology stuff with all of the ghost vipers behind him. How sweet is that going to look? Any news on Super 7 Wave 5? Well, for reaction, I don't think anything yet, Swamp Baby Boy, although I do think it's almost been sort of revealed by Brian at the panel that you can watch on, I think you can watch it on Talking Joe's channel, right, Mark? Did you record that panel with at Joe Fest? I can't remember. Someone has done. So you can always go and check that out. Jello Ben says, that's it, guys. Rub it in. Walmart didn't cancel your... No, he didn't. They didn't cancel my crystal ball. But I feel for everyone that goes through that, because I have been very fortunate with Walmart. They even ship stuff in boxes, which I'm really surprised at. Like they have... I remember ordering something and it didn't even come... They put a sticker on the actual box and just delivered it with nothing. The sticker was on the card and it was just in the open. It wasn't even in a bag. It was just on this, like, left, not even at the right place. It was delivered to a different door, like 3 blocks away, and I had to go and find it based on the image I had on the delivery, and then I had to go into the building and ask them rather embarrassingly, have you had this delivered? And they were like, oh yeah, is this what you're after? I'm like, yep, that's it, thank you, and then took it and ran away crying. But yeah, they've done ridiculous stuff to me in the past. Chris, howdy. Where's my Dreadnought Thunder Machine? JK. Hi 49 O'Brien. I have no idea. I did not steal it, I swear. How good would that be, though? Classified Thunder Machine would be phenomenal. I've been lucky with Walmart as well. I have Monkey Wrench coming tomorrow. Guillermo, I'm very jealous about that. And here's another shot of the Trooper, although this you can't really see much because of the pose I took the picture from. Either way, Hiya Toys, that's our little update for Hiya at the moment. Nothing super new, but obviously they are posting some fun stuff. So next up, we're going to get into a little bit of fans hobby, and this might take a while, but I'll get through the images as best I can because there's like about 50 of them. It's crazy. Yes, the ATAC has had a number of promo images courtesy of I Am No Fire on Weibo, who has actually done this before with a lot of fans hobby stuff and produces some beautiful promotional photography for fans hobby, basically, and lots of other stuff. But certainly for fans hobby, we've seen it with the Air Eagle. We've seen it with that's it so far, isn't it? But we've definitely seen more promo images from this particular human being. Now, let's have a look. First off, we have that now. Fans Hobby posted the box kind of images of the production box that you're going to get. So like an exterior box and then like an interior sort of box that slides in that. And it looks really nice. Very much, again, very much along the lines of the Air Eagle. Now, I will say this vehicle, they have done a phenomenal job. And it's weird to me how it's developed since we saw that very first sort of like really basic sort of version of it from back in like, God knows when it was, like last year, or maybe was it? Yeah, it was last year, wasn't it? Well, it's been about a year of development. And maybe, I don't know, it might have been at the start of this year. I can't remember. Either way, we've seen it grow, haven't we? Let's face it. And it's kind of changed dramatically. And now when I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's literally the Ore Striker. I don't know. It's gone from like being that sort of Chenauth homage, which was the original inspiration for the Ore Striker, and just went straight into the Ore Striker. So all of the little details they kept changing on it, kept pushing it more and more into the original Ore Striker. But I've got to say, the Tiger Force Air Eagle, the Air Eagle itself, phenomenal looking, beautiful vehicles, and from as what I can gather, very high quality in the production of them as well. And this is looking very much like that too. Here's the sort of like what it looks like, sort of almost taken apart and out of the boxes. Now, here are the images from I Am No Fire, which are absolutely glorious. So we get a good look at that dash, which is very on theme with that kind of retro vibe of the Chenoweth, I believe. I think they probably took that straight from it. But it looks really cool, including the big stop, the big button that you shouldn't push at any point. What's that for? What do you reckon that would do? Would that like, what's that big red button going to do? Someone tell me in the comments, just in case there's a real reason for it being there. Fans Hobby is killing it, says 49 O'Brien. I had to change location and went from TV to mobile. Did I mention price on this, Hella Geek? On the ATAC? I did not. It's an ejector seat. That'd be hilarious. It is. Gemma says, oops, this is the Fans Hobby. I've been close to getting the Air Eagle, but can't get past the shipping cost. That's one of the issues, isn't it, I guess? Doesn't someone have it where the shipping isn't that bad? I was told this the other day, and I can't remember where it is now. But I don't actually know the cost off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to look it up while we're here. But it is available on the Chosen Prime, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Doink. Yeah, you can order yours today at thechosenprime.com. $129.99. In an actual military vehicle, it could be a thermite self-destruct to keep out of enemies' hands. Chris G, that would be crazy if it's that right there. I went with the Fans Hobby specifically because it is based on the Chenoweth FAV, Richard says. And then was it a case of like, now we get to this point, it doesn't really, I mean, it does resemble the Chenoweth, of course it does, but it really has got Ore Striker vibes to me. Like it really is up there with it. But I love the exposed kind of like engine at the back. It's beautiful. It's got lights. It's really cool. Yeah, $129.99 does seem reasonable for all of the bells and whistles you get with it as well. 49 O'Brien says self-destruct button. It could be the fire suppression button for the engine. Oh, that's a good shout, Krusty Old Crow. Thank you very much. That sounds feasible. That sounds feasible. Anyway, lovely shots of this. Here's another good shot from the back, Kitty said. It is a really cool vehicle. And again, lots of lots of really cool detail in this one. Loads of sculpt detail, loads of little parts and pieces. Now, the engine doesn't come apart like that, but it's definitely really cool looking. And there's elements to it that I want to say move. Like there's a little fan belt on there, I believe, from what we know from the development of it. Even it's a really nice rear view mirror. I'm just going to look at the Vamp, because the Vamp's got really nice mirrors as well, actually. The Vamp and the Stinger have got really nice, clean, clear mirrors on there. Are the tires actual rubber or plastic? I believe they are rubber. I'm not all as like squidgy. I don't know exactly the no, they are because they come off the actual tire. So yeah, from what I remember seeing them put but it's really cool. And what I found quite interesting is just how much this really looks like the Ore Striker and how the classified Ore Striker went in a different direction. Now, I feel like I see a different vehicle every image I see of the classified Ore Striker, and I'm not going to make any like judgment or decision until it's in my hand, because that one I have, that's definitely that's I've got it. That's locked in. But if I get it in hand and it sort of looks a little bit like we've seen recently with the comparison shot of this and the ATAC, then I don't know. I might be leaning a little bit more towards the ATAC in my preference. Not saying I would buy it, but in terms of what I prefer out the two. Now that's a bit ridiculous, but obviously I'm all in on classified, and I don't necessarily tend to deviate on that at all. At all. Actually, the only things I have deviated on are things like the Cold Slither box set, because I'm a vinyl collector and I like getting all of the cool vinyl that's G.I. Joe related. But that said, if I get that Ore Strike in hand and it's not necessarily to my preference, I could be looking at needing an ATAC, honestly. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, it does look really cool. Here it is with the kind of like the rocket launchers on, but not the other weapon system, which does make it look 100% more like the Ore Striker. But again, every shot of this I've seen with all the promo images, with the recent video kind of showing off the ATAC, it's definitely buzzing my berries, I've got to admit. And it's making Footloose and Jay look really cool, by the way, as well. The all-terrain attack carrier. If you ever forget what the ATAC stands for, look at these promo images, because all the information is put out there for you. And again, just, yeah, great shots. So, does it come in black? Asked 49 O'Brien. Well, only if you spray it when it gets to you. And I love the fact they use Footloose for this, because obviously there's no crankcase yet they can utilize. Although they did have an Ore Striker, so well, they could have used crankcase because they must have it. But maybe I Am No Fire didn't have crankcase, and that makes more sense, because these weren't done by Fans Hobby. These were done by I Am No Fire on Weibo. Probably for Fans Hobby, though, specifically, like a properly done thing. Now, I love the fact they used Footloose, because obviously he shows up quite often. Well, to that end, he drives the Ore Striker. Where to Sports, of course, he says, after they'll shout Full Force. Well, they do in my version of the episode. They also shout Yo Joe as well in some other weird bootleg version of the episodes. But yeah, Footloose is the driver of the Ore Striker in that. So I love the fact they've used him. I love the fact Jay's in there too. Very green, this whole kind of like scheme. And I like it. I'm down. I'm here for it. Getting Delta Force vibes if it was black, says 49 O'Brien. The amount of like movies I would watch and then use my G.I. Joe vehicles and figures to kind of pretend to be in that movie. What was that one? Delta Force was one. There was another one. Oh God, there was another. Oh, Predator, obviously. I used the Hydro Viper as the Predator. I used Grunt version 2, 3, whatever version Grunt is, with the yellow trousers and the kind of that face and the kind of little Jerry curl and the kind of like black crew. He was my Dutch. I had Tiger Force Roadblockers Mac. Who was my... I forget now who my Blaine was when I did this. I think I used... Stalker was Dylan. I think I want to say... Because I had Recondo, but not till afterwards. So I don't think I used Recondo. I think I had Pathfinder as my Blaine, because he had a hat, basically. And then who else did I have in that little team? Lifeline was Hawkins, and then I had, I think, maybe Falcon. No, I didn't have Gaucho, Jamie Lynn, believe it or not. Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. So like I would do that a lot with whenever I saw a film, I would just grab like whatever, you know, the equivalent vehicle or figure would be, and then it would just be like, whoa. So yeah, I did that a lot. Megaforce, there's another one. Yes, BQ King and 49 Brian. Yes, Megaforce is another one. I watched because that was seared into my mind. The motorcycle, the flying motorcycle getting into the back of the plane, seared into my mind. And then I saw it the other day because it was in one of those videos where people watch the movie and then like comment on it on like a reel or TikTok or something. And it was just really funny seeing that again, and how bad it is, but how much I enjoyed that as a kid. Anywho, more images, lots of them. Here's a good shot of the Ore Striker kind of in motion. The front tires look a lot bigger than I think they actually are. This is kind of the kind of problem I'm having with the classified Ore Striker. Every picture I see of it looks different. The wheels look different proportions. The front looks different. From the front, it's just, I need to have this in hand, the Ore Striker. So when I get it, I'm going to just be like, okay, is it what I've always wanted? I hope so. It's really weird. It's really weird. It's the only thing I've really struggled with in the classified series so far, in terms of just not being sure about what I'm actually going to get. Isn't that weird? Like, and I know that a lot of the time the things in hand, they are much better than you see them in like, and promo images are amazing, but like sometimes the renders don't do it justice. Sometimes the promo images can't even do it justice. So in this case, though, the ATAC is looking great in all shots. That's what I'm concerned about, I think, mainly. Here's Flint with the team, looking cool. And obviously with the roll bar on the back as well now, and like a little gun emplacement. It just looks so cool. It looks amazing. It looks really good like this, actually, with that roll bar. Bad Wolf Media says maybe the final Ore Striker design will have 4 sets of tires, all different sizes to mix and match. I wonder. I don't think that's the case because I know I've seen videos of them. I know Travis has got one as well, a Toy Kind of Mood. So I don't think that's the case. Did Fans Hobby think, says Rudy, if people think it looks like the Chenowth, then we are winning. But if they also think that it looks like the Ore Striker, we are also winning. It's a wonderful mix of both for me. I think so. I think the tweaks they've made have taken it closer to the Ore Striker, but they've still kept very unique Chenowth elements, like the exposed engine at the back from the back, the way that it's kind of designed at the back, that higher arch sort of like aspect on the wheel at the back. But then everything else that was Chenowth about, the really low profile and the much thinner body across the kind of main like body of it has really sort of like kind of kept it close enough to being just a Chenowth kind of like thing. And then I think when you get all the other aspects involved, when you take the roll cage off the back for the chair, when you add I think we've got an image of it, of the kind of other weapon system. I'm not sure if we do actually, but there's the other weapon system, isn't there? Which looks very much like your classic, Ore Striker. Man, we've got so many images to get through. I'm going to see if they do have that weapon system on here. And a lot of them are very similar and mainly just making Footloose look good as well, by the way. Here's another couple of shots of Lady J being very dangerous there, but providing some sort of firepower cover while Footloose is driving. This is a nice shot. Who's she talking to? Is Flint in the back? No, she's talking to herself. Footloose is ignoring her. I'm just seeing if there were any promo images. I don't think there are of that other weapon system. No, there aren't with this. But again, there is another weapon system which makes it look very much like that classic Ore Striker. So yeah, I think if you want something that's very classic, you're probably not going to go much. You're not going to get much worse than doing the ATAC. Is all I'll say on this one. The Gridiron Jungle Hound is a beautiful piece of work. Very much their own thing, though, isn't it? Like chunky, heavily industrial, sort of like military grade industrial, like, very like chunky and thick and different and very cool. Loads like classic military weapons and stuff all over, and new military weapons on it. So Gridiron are doing their own thing with it, making it very like beast-like. The Fans Hobby have gone very, inspired by the Chenowth, and Classified have gone their own direction as well, kind of like a classified version of the Ore Striker. So I would say if you want classic Ore Striker, the ATAC is the closest you're probably going to get right now. Will that change in the future? I don't know. It's going to have to be a long time, though, isn't it? Because, to get like a retro-inspired version of an Ore Striker, I think you're just better off doing something like this. Now, out of the three, out of Gridiron, Fans Hobby, and Classified, what are your favorites? Bias says Fans Hobby is the best by some distance for them. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'd do like a poll, but I don't have the ability to even think that deeply into this stuff. So just let me know in the comments. Do you is it Fans Hobby, Gridiron, or Classified? What is your favorite version of this vehicle, effectively, at the end of the day? RKW says it's the ATAC, or the ATAC, spell ATTACK. Richard says the Chenowth, the original Ore, took styling cues from was the 82-ish version. The new Classified has Chenowth DPV elements, but looks too much like a toy. Interesting, Richard. I wasn't aware of that. That's something that I'd completely missed. Chris G says Classified. Interesting. Hello Geek says my inclination is usually to go the official release, but I think the ATAC wins this time. 17.2 Nate says classified. BQ King says gridiron for me. Gridiron for the different upgrades says 49 of Brian. SCS Dog says Fans Hobby has the best roster of 112 military vehicles around. Joe Barrett says I really like the look of the gridiron. Bad Wolf says I think this looks good, but I would be wary of fragility issues that you see in small run stuff like this. From what I've heard, Bad Wolf Media, nothing but good things to be said about the Air Eagles, at least. Not that that means anything to the ATAC, but it does give you a little bit of what's the word, like a previous with the company at least. I think this looks good, but I would be wary. Yeah, also I've done that one. Gridiron is my favorite design wise. Fans Hobby is definitely out front with features, says Blitz. Highly articulated. Hello, Adam says Hasbro for me. I have a hard time going with third-party versions when a Hasbro version is available. Totally understand. Fans Hobby is usually quality, says Bias. When available, I always go with the official choice, says Thanos. RKW says my problem with the Gridiron is the lack of an engine. I hadn't even thought about that, RKW. Joe says I've got the classified coming. Yeah, same. So I'm just interested. That's all. I'm interested what you guys are thinking. There's a lot. I tell you what, there's a lot of comments here for the classified one. And you know what? Like I said before, I'm not making a judgment until I have that in hand, for sure. White says, I have a couple of the Air Eagles, and yes, solid. Awesome. Okay, well, that is the very extensive image library from I Am No Fire on Weibo, via Fans Hobby, of course, of the VE03 ATAC all-terrain attack carrier. Very nice indeed. Next up then, and we are getting into the official now, guys. Yeah, it's the classified updates time. A few more comments flooding in. Sorry, as I change. It always happens. I'll ask a question and I'll change the news subject. What said? Wow. Furchis Joe. Furchis. Sorry if I'm getting that completely wrong. Hi there to Diagnostic 80. Thank you. Hi there to you. Regards from Leon Guanajuato, Mexico. Allow me to say that is why I decided to collect scale 1/6 once for all instead of the 112. If we want bigger vehicles, they look very cool, and we can install LED lights too. That's pretty interesting, actually. So 1/6 being obviously 12-inch figures, that is amazing. And also, thanks from all the way from Mexico. I appreciate the watch, and that's really, really cool. And thanks for the comment as well. Really appreciate everybody, of course, in the chat for all of your interactions and your comments and all that kind of good stuff, and messages. I appreciate it all. So thank you very much. It was cool always to get someone from a different area of the world. I like that too. Phil says, hi Phil. Philip Donnelly, I have my Bandai version. Good enough for me. Yeah, the wow, that's a while back. The black version of the Ore Striker, right? Does it fit classified figures? Because there was this whole thing, wasn't it, about not being ever so slightly out of scale because of the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow that were in that same Bandai line being a bit smaller. Well, the motorcycles definitely looked a bit bonkers with like Duke sitting on it. But in terms of the Ore Striker, I don't think I ever saw if that actually went well with the 6-inch figures. Matt says Fans Hobby is incredible quality, way better than Hasbro, but I don't like their design in this one. The Air Eagle is perfect. Interesting. Thank you, Matt. Extensive enterprise image library. Thank you, Chris G. All the way from Greece here, says Thanos. That's really cool. I didn't know you were in Greece, Thanos. That's amazing. Phil says if you take out the chair, it's just large enough to fit one of the slimmer classified figures. You're getting into a lot of yeah, you have to like that. That's a lot of things you have to do. So there's no chairs in there when you finally put the figure in. Anyway, I picked up, not knowing I was buying a G.I. Joe Fan Convention 66 Batmobile, says Keaton Car 89. That's cool. Anyway, okay, cool. Right, so here we are. Classified updates. Only the two to kind of go through today, and that is, of course, recent US port arrivals for L-Seed, which is the MMS with Hawk, Brainchild 2-pack, which is Sarge and Mercer, and Fishboy Deluxe, the defense post with Steel Core Sentry. So those are now at US port. Now, if you've been watching the show or following the socials for a while, we've started to see a pattern here, and I don't know exactly, because again, I should check on the numbers, and I look at the distance between when they're starting to kind of fulfill pre-orders after we've started getting this information. But it's been around about a month or so, hasn't it? So I think we can start to get excited for the MMS with Hawk, for Sergeant Mercer 2-pack, and for the Defense Post with the Steel Core Sentry. And I would imagine that we'll start seeing information from pre-orders, either Pulse or otherwise, wherever you got them from. Now, hang on, Sarge and Mercer, was that Fanmazon? I want to say that was Fanmazon. But the Steel Core Sentry with Defense Post is Pulse exclusive, I want to say. And the MMS with Hawk, that was Fanmazon as well, wasn't it? So 2 Fanmazons and a Pulse exclusive. So yeah, you can start expecting to see pre-orders from all sorts of different areas, with 2 of them at least. And of course, Pulse pre-orders for Defense Post with Steel Core Sentry. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. That is the recent US port arrivals. And like I said, you can probably start to expect to see these showing up for pre-orders and what have you pretty soon. Now, oh yeah, the Phalanx. My God, that thing crazy, isn't it? And all those vehicles from Ramen Toys as well. God, I forgot about all those. Just talking about the big vehicles that are available for 1/12 scale 6-inch figures. Now, the other cool thing was this. Now, this was posted just minutes before I went live, about 15 or 20 or maybe 30 minutes before I went live, by the great Tonino on Instagram. Thank you, Tony, of Hasbro fame. I should be talking to Tony and Lenny very soon. It's just not lined up availability wise, but that should be happening soon. So we will be getting an interview with them. Have no fear. We'll talk about all the cool stuff that we've seen recently. And yeah, I'll try and get that done ASAP. But he did post this lovely render of Pythona and all of her goodies. Now, of course, we've already seen Pythona in full. We've seen the figure at SDCC, was it? Wherever it was, but we saw Pythona fully revealed, the figure, everything, the packaging. Pre-order is coming for the fall conventions, which is just around the frigging corner, may I add. And of course, so in terms of render, like, it wasn't that important. Kind of missed a little missed a step in terms of how the rollout usually happens with these sort of things. But it's kind of nice to tick a box. And in this case, we've got one ticked finally. So here is the Pythona render. And as you can see, all of the stuff that she comes with is on here, including that amazing soft goods cape, which I've got to say might be my favorite thing in the classified series from so far. That hood, the fact that it folds over and does the V-shaped kind of eye slit thing, is nuts. The holes at the bottom, which are cut out in the movie by the 2 bladed doors closing behind her. Like, there's so many cute, cool things about this. All of her different, like, weapons, biological weapons. You've got the tapeworm clam that she kind of like wraps someone with, like a Crimson Guard with. She's got the sticky clam opening, which has the BET inside it. She has it doesn't have the BET inside it, which it should do, but that's by the by. That's what that sticky clam was there for. She's got the face hugger, the squidgy face hugger, which attaches to the face of a figure, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. She's got the other little kind of biological weapon in the top right there, which is just the one that spits out the gas and makes that Crimson Guard like take his helmet off and just scream and go nuts. And then of course you've got the 4-headed electricity snake, which is phenomenal. Like, I can't believe they put all, like, I literally said when I was talking about wanting Pythona in like sort of deluxe capacity, I mentioned all these things. The gem of that size, Bosch, right there. All of her different like biological weapons that she utilizes on her Terradrome intro, where she comes in the movie and just takes it out. It's amazing. Also these 2 little like weird little snake bladey things, like circular blade things that she's got, are quite interesting as well. And I still think though the things that the grenades she throws, I thought that's what they might have been, but no, I believe the the pufferfish grenades, is what I've described them as, are the only things that we do not see here, which is a shame. But I'm not going to be like too downhearted, because look at all the cool stuff that she comes with. And then of course the fist hands, she's got kind of sea grips and then default ones. Then she's got the dripping claws right hand and a mutated left hand. Very awesome. And then of course the two head sculpts, the phenomenal figure body itself, with all that really cool like sculpt detail, are just amazing. Chris said sticky clam with a straight face. I do every single time, guys. I've said sticky clam more than any other two-word combination, more than full force. I've probably said sticky clam more than I've said full force on this show, and that's saying something, because I say it at the end of every single episode and the beginning of every single episode as well. Have there ever been any other Cobra La characters released in 3 3/4 other than Royal Guard and Globulus? Royal Guard, Globulus, Nemesis Immortal, or Nemesis Enforcer, Cal. And other than that, that's it, I think. Pretty sure it's meant to be vapor from the acid, not any sort of mutation. Vapor from the acid. Oh, the mutated hand that I thought was a mutated hand on the left-hand side. Is that you saying that's vapor? Interesting. From what I looked at it before, it looked 100% like a mutation when, you know, on the actual original images. So that's what I assumed it was. I've just got to find the original images now, which is going to take ages, isn't it? But you guys don't mind listening while I scroll my phone for Pythona images. Here they are. That's mutation, guys. I'm pretty sure of it. It just looks like mutation. It's got like globules and weird, like it really looks mutated to me. Even the fingers start changing shape and stuff. Have we had official information about that? I'm just going to ask the question. I'm going to ask what that is on that left hand, just to kind of like to be confirmed that. So I'll ask the question and see what happens. White says, I don't think it's mutated hand as much as it's supposed to be steam or smoke coming off as she melts something. Interesting. Okay. Kitty said might be your most commonly used 2 words combo. Actually, Jamie Lynn, you might be right. Kitty, well, because I'll say Kitty said after saying sticky clam most of the time as well. So it's hard. I reckon someone needs to go through every single one of these episodes I've ever done. News bursts, comic bursts, everything I've ever done, and make a full, like, find out all the most used words, please. Do that. Lenny said it's acid, says Michael. Okay, so he has actually said that, Michael. Cool. I'll ask that question just to confirm, but if he's already said it, then that's great. Cal said, sorry, I should have said not released in classified. Oh, okay, so yeah, so it would just be the only ones left for Cobra La that were in 3 3/4 that haven't been done in classified would be the Royal Guard and Globulus. That's correct. Anyway, yeah, I'll confirm on that 100%. I just, for some reason, it just looked like it had been mutated, even on those images from the original reveal. But yeah, it's cool. If that's what it is, that's what it is. It's all cool. It's all gravy. It might be gravy, acid gravy. Either way, that is the render. Finally have it, and I had just about enough time between Tony posting this and of course going live to actually get it on the digital renders graphic as well. So fingers crossed I managed to do that in time. I can't remember if I changed the image now. Oh well, we'll find out soon. Anyway, that is it for all the news. Leak listings, no changes. Still waiting, of course, for Short Fuse and Steeler, which is going to be Target Fall Geek Out, which has already started. So keep an eye every Friday for that, because I think that's going to pop up surely in Target Fall Geek Out. Then, of course, we have the Ghost Viper and Dire Beasts. That is looking like Walmart, of course, their Fall Collecticon, which will be around about the same time, I believe, as I think we had the date for this, October the 9th, I want to say. for that one, or third or the 9th. I can't remember. Either way, there is a Walmart Fall Collector Con, which is very likely where we'll see that Ghost Viper and Dire Beasts pop up in terms of a pre-order. And then, of course, Pythona, who's going to be Fall Con exclusive, and then later on Pulse as well. Chris, can you ask Lenny to let Snowjob out of the vault? Sure, Todd. I don't know if he will let him out there or not. Acid Gravy confirmed, says SVFNG. Ionic Blood 666 is right about the other hand. Thank you, Michael. Carlos is still waiting for the chair face and unknown vehicle reveal. Yep, we all are. I don't know what chair face is. Genuinely, I've not a clue. I've guessed at Mutton Junkyard as a Mad Marauders redeco, but it could be anything, couldn't it, at the end of the day? It's a figure pet price point, and it's a Fanmazon, but that's all we know about it. The Legacy Police Tactical Unit, there's a hint of a date for that one, and that is 11/1, 1st of November. But that one looks to even have listings on Amazon and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably just going to be put out there with little fanfare. And who knows if it even goes up on Hasbro Pulse? Who knows? We don't at the moment, so we'll have to see what that's about. But that is still technically postponed. But the rumor mill is suggesting around the 1st of November for that particular drop. Anyway, that's pretty much everything. Unknown vehicle. And Ralph T, of course, was an inactive listing. It was a listing originally, and it did have a figure attached to it, but it's likely that figure was pushed into the next groupings of retro, which we do have listings for on the 2026 listings, of course, down the bottom right there. Dexter, Dee, Mandark, Mom, Dad, Misspell, Major Glory, Crunk, and Valhallan. Now, we did unlock last week, I believe, the name-only reveals of Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, Big Lob, and Iceberg on these listings. As you can see, Lifeline, Night Viper, and Hit and Run are those particular listings. Now, I have put them in numerical order. That does not necessarily mean that this is the order they will come out in, because we've had such a, if you go back here, we had such a mess of change-ups and figures going in different places and stuff like that, that we ended up with a bit of a mishmash of listings numbers, and certainly not in the right order. I think the same thing's happening here with all of the delays and the issues production wise. Very much, I just talked about the Legacy Police Officer, Josh. I literally just spoke about it. Did you miss that, or have you not got to that point in the video yet? I literally just spoke about it. But yeah, Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, and Big Lob could all be in the same grouping. I don't know. Iceberg's more likely going to be where it is, because it's going to be coming out around about the same time as, the Snowcat, as in the delivery of the Snowcat. And but yeah, in terms of the listings, that's what the listings say those particular characters are. Now, like I said, will they be in different orders? Possibly, based on all of the mess of last year and the knock-on effect that has to the way that the listings and the figures come out going forward. Of course, we do know that the Johnny 2-pack is Taurus and Red Dog on the other side of the exclusives. And of course, we do know that the HasLab Snowcat is now Gleep. And again, that was annoying, because when the promo images showed up, if I'd have saved one of them onto my desktop, the file name would have had Gleep in it. So it was there for ages, and I just didn't realize or notice. So yeah, Gleep is the internal code word for the HasLab Snowcat, which is adorable and rather funny. But that's pretty much all that we're working with at the moment. And of course, you know, as you well know, looking at these listings even, they will slowly unlock, and we'll start seeing them and getting pre-orders for things and so on and so forth. And eventually it'll all be green, or majority green, like 2025. Cool. That's everything for the leaked listings, I believe. Now we are on to name-only reveals, and obviously these are the official name-only reveals that we're dealing with currently. Already spoke about Lifeline, Hit and Run, Iceberg, Big Lob, and Night Viper, and of course the Taurus and Red Dog 2-pack in there as well. That's pretty much it. Digital renders. Pythona's in there. Yay. So Legacy Police Officer still at digital render phase, even though we have promo images up the wazoo of it. But of course, we do know, like, what I mean here is that this is prior to the next level, which is pre-order. So name only, digital render, pre-order. Like, those are the three main points. Now, I should really have in there like promo image reveals or figure reveals in between uh in between this one and pre-order, technically. So there should be another level, and that's probably where Legacy Police Officer belongs, as well as Short Fuse and Stealer, Pythona, and Ghost Viper with Dire Beasts as well. So they're already in they're already in the right, that they're in both groups. There are digital renders for them, and they've also been revealed fully. Anyway, yeah, there you go. That is pretty much all she wrote in terms of the listings and what we know so far. So I will move now into shout outs. But before we get into that, here's a message from our sponsor. Right then, RKW says renders should only be for figures we haven't seen a physical copy. Tough, because it means I've got to do more work, and it ain't happening. I probably will change it eventually, but as it is, you'll just have to like sit there with the knowledge, knowing fully well that you've seen those figures, and just deal with it. Rest in peace, eardrums, says Todd. And what was the other one? My ears, says Blitz, because the music's so loud. You should know now what happens when I press that button for the ad. Get your headphones off, turn the volume down, whatever you need to do. I ain't changing it either. I'm getting really bolshy today about just sticking with everything. No, you'll probably find out that I'll probably turn that down a little bit then going forward. Moray in 2026, this is the way, says Bias. Maybe. Anyway, yes, thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasury Editions, TotalToyBooks.com if you want them in the UK and Europe, and of course, Skeletron.com if you want to grab them in the US. Beautiful, beautiful volumes of the amazing Battle Action Force comics in glorious, glorious Deluxe Treasury Editions. Go get them. They're amazing. Also related is the Total Action Force Volume 3 on Kickstarter right this second. Now, where are we currently? Very, very close to funding, guys. Now, 3 days left. We are so close, like very, very close to funding. Just a couple G's left. It's at 12,536 of a 14 and 22 goals. So get pledging, please and thank you. We need this one. It is going to be a beautiful book full of amazing concept from the Palatoy era. Now, a couple of things to mention here. This book, this volume, will contain stuff that has not been seen ever before by the public. Stuff that has come straight out of what Bob Breakin had in his in his loft that hasn't been touched or seen for multiple years. So, like I said, this is going to have stuff you've never seen before. It's going to have stuff you have seen before, but much, much better quality. And I can tell you now, some of the things that are in this book are going to blow your mind. If you're not fully versed in the whole Palatoy kind of period of Action Force, then this is going to be a history lesson in the most fun and amazing way possible. If you are well versed in the Palatoy era, you're still going to find stuff in here, like a lot of stuff in here that you weren't aware of or haven't seen before. Trust me. So this is going to have some really cool stuff in it. It's, like I said, concept. It's going to have the history of like how Palatoy and Action Force came to be. It's going to have the concepts that built it. It's going to have unproduced figures and vehicles and all sorts of cool stuff that didn't get past a certain point for whatever reason. Cool Space Force stuff, really cool Space Force stuff, I will say, and amazing concept art as well as actual models and stuff. It's just great. Get it in you. Go pledge. Go get this over the line. Like I said, 3 days to go. I fully expect this one to, to fund, and I want it to, obviously, but at the same time, let's get this done ASAP. If you're on the fence, get off the fence. It's not even that expensive. If you want to get involved, if you want to support it, you can just make $1 a pledge amount if you want. But if you actually want it, you can get it right now as an available rewards. It's only a standard price now because all the early birds have gone. There is an early bird 2 actually, but I don't think that's available anymore. No, that's not available either, I don't think. Or is that available? $54. Missed the first early bird, not to worry, save 10% of the standard price. Hurry, as it still ends after 24. No, that one's gone as well. So yeah, of course, we are now down to the rank and file standard price, €60, which is about $71. But it's really, honestly, the quality of these books are phenomenal. Get involved, get pledging, do it now, please. Right then, that is that. Massive shout out to Articulated Points, and of course my usual co-host Pat, who isn't on the show today, of course, because we've had to change the time and it's just messed with availability, so apologies on that. But shout out to Pat. We need to get this sorted out, and we need to get back on the 2-man show. And also massive shout out to Phil, who was in the comments earlier on. Check out Articulated Points, link in the description, please and thank you. Also, Codename Iowa, their Assembly Required convention is coming up November 14th and 15th. It's slowly creeping around the corner. They, of course, the second fan poll is complete now. Cutter will be bringing in the first fan poll vote winners to attack Cobra Island. So Cutter and the Whale are going to be doing that. But yeah, I think you already knew that from last week. Also, what's important to know, he says, not having the information up at hand like he should have done beforehand, and now he's doing that thing where he has to sort of pad for time in order to get the post up so that you can actually read the actual information out. Yes, pre-orders for the 2025 gear kits go live on September the 3rd, so make sure. You can actually pick between Joe or Cobra versions as well. Each kit includes unique Cell Pop cards, custom stickers, 3D printed battlefield accessories, a poster, and more featuring your chosen side. Order both and get a free 2026 Cell Pop calendar as a bonus. So that will be available at codenameiowa.com on the 3rd of September. We'll probably post it when it goes up live, of course, and we'll share it and all that kind of jazz as well. So gear kits are amazing, by the way. And I have done a few gear kit openings in the past, so you can go and check out a couple of those back in the day, just to see sort of things that will be involved in those gear kits. But yeah, always superb. So make sure you get involved with that. Also, this is really cool as well, but they have announced another guest coming to Assembly Required, and that is Phil Hester. Yes, comic book writer and artist. And so Assembly Required is excited to announce Iowa native and comic book writer-artist Phil Hester joining the event this year. Known for his unique artistic style, Hester has created works for DC, Marvel, Image, and numerous independent publishers, including the recent Beachhead issue of Skybound's G.I. Joe Real American Heroes Silent Missions miniseries, which is amazing. Make plans to join us November 14 and 15 in Des Moines, Iowa. Go check it out. Let's do it. I'm missing a few comments here. Sorry, guys. Double down, go louder, says I'm not going to do that. I will 100% fix the loud audio for that, for the commercial. My apologies. Rudy says, so close. As an owner of the previous volumes, talking about the Total Action Force volumes, this is a must buy or pledge to make this happen. I agree, Rudy. Thank you very much. Smash the like button, says Carlos. Thank you. Anyway, Phil Hester, very excited about that one as well. Again, like the Silent Mission, or is it Silent Missions, or the it was he's worked on the Silent Missions miniseries and the Beachhead issue of the was it Beachhead Silent Missions? Did he have a Silent Mission? I'm thinking of two different things here. Either way, he's done some great stuff. So go check him out. And also, you'll be able to check him out at Des Moines, Iowa as well for the Assembly Required convention. Now, Prime Artist 1977. Here is maybe something you can ask Lenny about. Retro style packaging for vehicles. Maybe first up could be a vamp that is more styled like the original. Not a bad shout, actually, yeah. To try and get another vamp out without it being completely the same, that might make a bit more sense, yeah. I could put that, I could ask for sure, Prime. Anyway, next up, and also codenameiowa.com, like I said before, for the tickets and all that good stuff. September the 3rd for gear kits, like I said before as well. And you can also get amazing stuff on their store as well. Some beautiful tees, Cell Pop card art, and of course, there's Word Burglars Rhymes with Comics ash can as well. Very cool. Now, also massive shout out to Skeletron.com. Yeah, go and get your Robo Skull Mark IIs, 2024 Toy of the Year, according to us and many, many others. But also, they posted this update very recently. They have got, yeah, isn't this crazy? So, Skeletron, the toy design studio and creator, the action figure vehicle RoboSkull Mark II, has joined Timmy Hill and Garage 66 for our run in the Southern 500 at Darlington. You can order some of the coolest action figures around by visiting their website, www.skeletron.com. Isn't that crazy? And then they posted this image as well. So we've actually got a rendered version of the car with the logo on it, but then also the actual car with the logo on it. So massive shout out to Skeletron, to Ben, Mark, and the rest of the team at Skeletron. Amazing stuff. That I genuinely want to check this out. It's actually it's early morning practice and qualifying on Saturday. So that's today, right? I want to try and find footage of this. We need to see a video of this driving around with Skeletron on the front of it. That's absolutely phenomenal. Venom says, hi Chris, any thoughts on Wave 2 of Monster Force by Fresh Monkey Fiction? Seems to be coming in stock as some reviews are up on YouTube. I haven't really had a chance to check any of it out, Venom, but it all looks so good. The Monster Force stuff with Fresh Monkey Fiction is great. I love all of their stuff that they do with the sort of like the kind of cheeky homage stuff as well. Is amazing. Was it the Sarge's birthday this week? I did not realize that. Figure Six Pack. Thank you. 77. Happy birthday, Sarge, for 77. Not bad. Bad Wolf Media says, wow, they're going straight to the Cup Series and not even the minor league. I know. Skeletron, man. Telling you. What an amazing logo to have on there, too. Like all the flames coming off it. It's brilliant stuff. Amazing. And anyway, that's everything. So shout out to Skeletron. And also now, shout out to everyone of you for watching this episode of the Full Force Weekly a little bit later in the day. My apologies for that. We'll try and get back. Well, I say normal service will resume next week, but that'll still be 3 p.m. Eastern. But I will be back then. I will be speaking to the Patreon group. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Q&A. And then I've got the Snake Eyes and Polar Bear video to go up this weekend. Fingers crossed. And other than that, I'll probably see you for any news that happens between now and next week. If it's obviously important enough to do a news burst, I'll probably do that in the week. Otherwise, I'll see you on Saturday again for the weekly. Thank you very much, guys. As always, stay fresh, cheese bags. And after 3, I think you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.